What is going on, Thumbthumbs? This is Thumbbrother 2, bringing you guys week 4, I want to say. Yeah, week 4 of our PGL, Pokemon Global League, battles with our team builder. With us, the Salt Lake City Swamperts are going to be taking on the Crimson Seabad and the Detroit-type Nulls. Now, I am a huge fan. I've been a huge fan of Crimson for quite some time. So to be able to battle him is going to be really, really exciting. So if you guys are excited, as I break down Crimson's team and I go over my team, what I think he's going to be bringing, what I'm bringing, and why it is, and all that nonsense, definitely leave a like down below. But like I said, let's quickly break down Crimson's team. Crimson has had a rough start, just like us. We are both sitting at 1 and 2 right now. So this is a big battle for us. This is definitely a big battle for us. We definitely need to kick it into high gear after our loss last week. So starting things off, he has Aromatisse, and Aromatisse is actually a really good mon against me, surprisingly. Just all around bulky mon. It's a cleric user. It can also set up Trick Room if I'm not mistaken. All in all, very powerful mon. Having a fairy type really prevents things like Como-O from really running amok because of that times 4 weakness. All in all, just a bulky mon. Up next is going to be Blacephalon. Blacephalon is such an awesome Pokemon, something I definitely want to try and use sometime in the future. Just an ultimate glass cannon, fire ghost type, able to use things like Fire Blast, Calm Mind as well. Very high speed. I think it maxes out at base 108 speed or something of that nature. So very powerful. Can also get access to what's it called? Not Head Smash, but Mind Blown. There we go, Mind Blown. It's signature attack, and with the Fire EMZ, even with the rain up, it can still do quite a big chunk of damage, honestly, allowing it to hit as hard as it can and not lose any HP with that Fire EMZ if he does decide to bring it. So, all in all, very, very powerful. Can honestly run through our team, but the big problem with that is it's very frail. Like I said, ultimate glass cannon. You throw a rock at this thing and it dies. So, still very challenging to get around. Up next is going to be probably one of the biggest threats I think this week is going to be that Diggersby. Diggersby runs through my team. I don't know why it is Diggersby does, but Diggersby, alongside with its ability, huge power, allows it to put in so much work against us. I mean, just an agility set that allows it to outspeed our Mega Swampert is powerful. If it gets a Swords Dance up as well, I mean, that's basically GG. It can honestly quick attack or Earthquake our entire team into oblivion. So we definitely have to look out for that. Make sure that if this thing does come, that it's not able to set up. So this is probably the mon I fear the most. So I think I have enough answers to it on the other hand to where he doesn't bring it, but you never know. Up next is going to be a Galvantula. Galvantula I definitely see coming for the webs, just because we do have rain, and being able to slow down our Mega Swampert in any regard will definitely help it out, his whole team out in the long run. Also gets access to things like Thunder. If we do bring rain, he hits at 100%. Otherwise, he has Compound Eyes, which makes it like 91, 92% accurate. Things like Energy Ball, Volt Switch, Bug Buzz as well. Things that hit very, very powerfully. This is actually a really good mon. I love Galvantula personally, and it pairs really, really well with his team. Up next is going to be Gligar. Gligar is a very, very bulky mon with that Eviolite. Not able to be poisoned because of immunity, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the main things that can honestly stop, almost stop our Mega Swampert in its tracks, because it doesn't take anything from Earthquake. It can decently be bulky against a Waterfall. The only problem with it is ground flying type, so an Ice Punch comes around and just knocks this thing out. So like I said, it's a semi kind of bulk against stop against Mega Swampert. Other than that, this thing can set up Stealth Rocks. I believe it can defog, it can roost, and just ruin your day. So very cool mon, something that I can definitely see coming. Up next, these next two mons are going to be probably the most problematic for me, is going to be Latios. Latios is so scary. I definitely see potentially even a Dragon Dance set come, or even a sub Calm Mind set coming. Either one really works really, really well. I want to say that Dragon Dance comes because at +1 or even a Scarf set, it outspeeds our Mega Swampert, if I'm not mistaken. And he's definitely going to be running Thunderbolt over, Energy Ball over Thunderbolt, I should say. Other than that, Draco Meteor is very, very powerful. If he wants to go physical with it, then he really doesn't have a lot for Mega Swampert, so that's why I do see the Calm Mind set more so than not. But other than that, just a very, very powerful mon. Also access to Defog, base 110 speed, which makes everything really, really problematic for me just because our team is so slow. I got to figure out a way how to combat that with the slower team, so... very, very powerful mon, really hurts us if allowed to set up, so we cannot allow that. Up next is going to be, like I said, this duo here is so powerful to round off his Dragon Fairy Steel Core is going to be that Mega Mawile. Why PGL? Why? Why allow this thing to exist for this season? Mega Mawile is so terrible. It's so terribly bad to... Not in a bad way, but in a good way. It's so terribly bad for the opponent to whomever wants to face it, because Mega Mawile can do so much. It leads off, it gets Intimidate before Mega Evolution, it gets Stealth Rocks, it has Elemental Fangs, or Punches, I can't remember which one right now. It gets access to Iron Head, Play Rough, Sucker Punch, works really well under Trick Room. It's, all in all, a very scary mon to handle with huge power. On top of that, he's got 2 huge power mons with Diggersby and the Mega Mawile, so these things are going to be hitting very, very hard on the physical side, and not a lot of things can honestly handle them back to back. It does have that weakness to ground type moves, which Mega Swampert does impeccably, but at the same time, Mawile can come around, just hit even harder back, and so we definitely have to play our cards right with this Mega Mawile, because there's no way he's not bringing it. Like, seriously, Mega Mawile is such a powerhouse, and it puts in such a huge threat to my entire team. Why wouldn't he bring it? He also gets access to Brick Break, which could be beneficial with dealing with stuff like Miltank, so, yeah, very, very scary mon. Up next is going to be Quillfish. Quillfish is really cool, just because it does get Intimidate as well. It's got a nice semi-Intimidate core with that Mawile before Mega Evolution. Water Poison type can be very, very bulky. Things like Aqua Jet, Toxic Spikes, Liquidation it gets access to now, I know. And yeah, I really see this thing coming just because it can intimidate our Mega Swampert. It can live a Waterfall, then immediately switch out, avoiding that Earthquake. So, very, very scary mon. Definitely bulky, can really put a hinder on a lot of things, so we definitely have to look out for that, especially if he brings Toxic Spikes. Toxic Spikes, I think, could be a potential for him to bring because, well, Stealth Rocks don't really do a lot to me, Toxic Spikes can, so I definitely see a Toxic Spike set coming. Up next is going to be that Regirock. Regirock, he's brought really interesting in the last couple weeks. He's brought one that's Assault Vested, really with a lot of attack investment, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, I can almost see just a max defensive set coming just to kind of handle whatever, but then at the same time I can also see another Assault Vest set just to go on the offensive. I think this thing gets access to Thunder Punch or something. He gets some sort of like electric type move. I know Shockwave was one, but I think there was another one as well. And on top of that, I do know that this thing gets access to Sunny Day. I know this thing has some sort of Sunny Day set attached to it. And he could potentially bring that alongside Sturdy just to get rid of my Rain, which I think would be a really cool tech in the long run. Getting out the sun for a little bit just to prevent and kind of stop Mega Swampert from running amok. Otherwise, just very, very bulky mon, very hard to get around. And then up next is going to be Sneasel. Sneasel is really cool in the fact that it can honestly work as Weavile, just not as powerful, but it's still very, very fast. It's like base 115, base 110 or something like, or base 100 attack. This thing's very powerful, despite having an evolution. That makes it even stronger, which is honestly really crazy. But other than that, I can definitely see this thing either being Focus Sashed or Life Orb or Banded, because this thing has so much speed that unless there is a Scarfer, it's not being outsped. And then on top of that, it has Ice Shard. Banded Ice Shard is doing so much to so many of my mons, it's not even funny. Other things it can get is Low Kick for Miltank, if I'm not mistaken. So we definitely have to play our cards right. Fake Out can also hurt in the long run, especially Life Orb. Fake Outs just hurt all day. So we definitely have to play our cards right to make sure that we bring the right set with Sneasel, because if it does come, it can punch a big hole in our team. And last but not least, to round off a huge defensive core that he has, is going to be that Tangrowth. I love Tangrowth. I think Tangrowth is probably one of my favorite monster draft in a league format. With that Regenerator, has huge attack, defense, and HP. Is a little bit lacking on the speed and special defensive side, but throwing an Assault Vest on this thing, it does wonders. It can really bulk out a lot of things. Like I said, Regenerator as well, getting back 30% of its health. Just makes this an all-around really just difficult mon to get rid of. Definitely the way to get around this thing is trying to Toxic or just hit this thing as much as you can and not giving it a lot of time to use that Regenerator. But other than that, yeah, things like Knockoff, Leaf Storm, Giga Drain, Earthquake, Hidden Powers. This thing can really run a wonderfully mixed set. So, yeah, it's all in all who I think he's going to be bringing. I pray that he doesn't bring the Diggersby, but I'm willing to bet he will. Galvantula for Webs, Latios, Mawile. Then I can definitely see between the last four any of them coming. I definitely see Tangrowth coming for sure, because it honestly 100% stops Mega Swampert. Even if it wants to be max defensive, it still eats hits all day. Other than that, Quillfish looks like a good bring, as well as Regirock. He definitely needs more a lot of bulk, so I can definitely see those three outside of Sneasel. Then again, you never know what can be brought in Draft League. But let's go ahead and jump into our team. The first one up, I decided that this tech was going to work once before in another league that just wrapped up, so I figured that it can work again this time around. So I went ahead and I'm going to be bringing, making her debut as Thea, our Liking Rock Midday form, with the Life Orb set. Now, unfortunately, because it is not desk set, we don't get that wonderful better boost and better stats all around, which I personally enjoy about Liking Rock Dusk a little bit more. But we do have access to a Cell Rock, which does benefit us with things like, like the Galvantula, with things like the Sneasel to break any sashes, or even go against the Blacephalon, hit that as hard as we can, because we outspeed it. But if it is like Choice Scarfed or anything, we can easily do that. Then I also have a Sucker Punch on here. This is where I really like the tech on Thea this week, is after a little bit of rocks damage, I'm not mistaken, we have, I believe, an 87% chance to knock out a like a Dragon Dance in style, or just like a non-HP invested Latios. With Sucker Punch if it goes for the attack, which I really like. I really like to play those odds, and if 13% is really going to screw me over, then so be it. Other than that, I have Drill Run for general good coverage with the Mawile, the Blacephalon, even the Regirock as well. And then Iron Head is just another nice neutral bring. It helps with the Sneasel. It hits the Mawile for a good neutral damage, as well as it hits the Aromatisse. I didn't have a lot of things for Aromatisse, and I do fear that thing potentially even coming, so Iron Head was another good way for me to answer it. But yeah, this thing is mainly there to take on his offensive threats with the Mawile and the Latios, so I really like that. As you can see, we are Adamant Natured, with 150 speed to go ahead and outspeed, I believe it was a max speed Diggersby. That sounds about right. I believe it was a max speed Diggersby, just because of the potential speed creeps and everything, and with webs coming up, would rather have the attack power and a little bit of HP investment rather than just guarantee outspeeding, especially with a Cell Rock. A Cell Rock Life Orb just hurts everything that outspeeds me to such a huge degree that the speed wasn't necessary, so I opted for a little bit more bulk and a lot more power with the Adamant Nature, so I really like it. Up next, you guys, making his return is going to be Baconator, holding the Choice Scarf this week. Oop, I did this weird. Oh no, you guys see what's going on. Okay, where is he? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Where's Baconator? There he is. Well, you guys see most of the team now of who's coming. Why is Baconator down at the bottom? That's so weird. That is not the order I put you in. So Baconator is here, Choice Scarf, with very standard moveset, Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Earthquake, and Superpower. Honestly, I really like this set. I might end up changing this set a little bit, just because Earthquake does just as much damage to the things I need it to. Like, Wild Charge is mainly there for the Quillfish, I'm not gonna lie. But after the Intimidate, it would just be better for me to go for Earthquake, and it's a safer play all around because I hit more things. So I might opt out of that and go for the Sucker Punch just so I can hit something, so I can hit the Latios if it decides to get up a couple Dragon Dances. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, honestly. I'm going to do that right now before I forget. Yeah. So then, Flare Blitz, you know, just obliterates everything. We're reckless, so we do so much more damage. I just mentioned Sucker Punch. Earthquake is very good neutral damage, hits a lot of his team, I think over 50% of his team for decent damage. And then Superpower is there for mainly for the Diggersby and the Regirock. Even though Earthquake can do a decent amount of damage, Superpower hits them just a little bit harder, so I really, really like that. And this gives me a wonderful answer to that Tangrowth. It's my main way just to go ahead and get it out of the way right then and there. Of course, he can predict that, but all in all, it's still a very powerful set, and I'm happy with it. You guys saw it. Up next is going to be 2% our Miltank. I believe Miltank was right here, right? Yep, Miltank, our 2%. Holding the leftovers with Sap Sipper, of course, to help out with the Tangrowth, the Energy Ball, potentially from Latios, and from Galvantula. And I think even Blacephalon gets it as well. But no, Sap Sipper was a wonderful choice to bring this week. Earthquake gives all-around neutral damage to hit a lot of different things. Stealth Rock, of course. Stealth Rocks help a lot in this matchup. Slowly whittling down his team, breaking any stashes like on the Sneasel or whatever, or even the Sturdy on the Regirock. Milk Drink for longevity, and then this was the big thing with me, is like I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted Thunder Wave or Toxic, so I flipped a coin for it, ended up giving me Thunder Wave. Do I regret it? Potentially. Thunder Wave I really like, though, just to be able to cripple that Blacephalon and that Latios if I really need to. However, Toxic I always love. Toxic just wears things down. I can play the long game at that point, which I really like doing. So running Thunder Wave is a little bit different for me, but then again, if I can cripple that Latios, make a good call, then we're in good shape. We are in good shape. But yeah, max defensive nature, very, very common. Helps with living a couple hits from the Mega Mawile, hitting it back with an Earthquake, and then as well as, excuse me, allowing me to eat a couple hits from, say, where was it? Like the Dragon Dance Latios, like I said, or even the the Diggersby. Like if the Diggersby sets up, I can at least live one hit and hope that I land the Toxic. Or I'm sorry, not even the Toxic. See, that's what I mean. I'm so in the mindset of using Toxic that saying Thunder Wave just hurts. So I can at least live one hit and try and do something against the Diggersby, get off a little bit of damage. I don't know, but yeah. I really like this set. It allows me to come and switch in against the Tangrowth as well. So, yeah, I really like this set. Moving on, you guys. Up next is going to be Nexus. Our Pelipper. I believe I put Nexus right here. Yep. Nexus holding the Damp Rock Drizzle. Of course, I'm going to be bringing Ring since you guys saw the whole entire team already. Very nice set. I have 140... to go ahead and outspeed a defensive Gligar and Quillfish with a little bit of speed investment. Rest in HP and special attack just to hit as hard as we can. Scald and Ice Beam is all around good coverage. I have Defog to get away any rocks or any toxic spikes. Thankfully, Nexus can come in without taking any damage from the toxic spike, so I like that. And then Knockoff. I really like Knockoff because it's a really middle of the ground play if I don't want to go for anything. If I think he's switching in something else, I can go ahead and get rid of an item, so I really like that. It gives us 8 turns of, what's it called? Excuse me. It gives me 8 turns of Rain, and then even, that I'm thinking about it, Knockoff does quite a bit of damage to the Latios, which I think is why I went ahead and made it Naive Natured instead of just like some sort of like Timid Nature or something, because I think after the knockoff, if I can get one on the Latios, I can go ahead and guarantee that Sucker Punch knocks it out with Lycanroc, or even, yeah, with Lycanroc for sure. So I really like that, and yeah, it's our Rain Setter and our Defogger, so hopefully Nexus can put in the work. Of course, you can't have Rain without the 2 main Rain guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and reveal them, of course. You got Mega Swampert and Tornadus, so I'm going to start things off with Torzondas, our Tornadus, holding the Flying EMZ just for that Flying EMZ Hurricane. It does a whole bunch of damage to a bunch of different things. We can 2-shot a Diggersby, which I really like. We have Heat Wave to go ahead and hit things like the The Mawile, the Tang Growth for decent damage. The Vantula doesn't want to take a Heat Wave or even Hurricane as well. Hidden Power Ice for that Gligar. And Knockoff as well. Like I said, Knockoff is so important just to start getting items off of things, figuring and just slowly whittling them down. I really like that. Tornadus is, of course, built to outspeed a Sneasel. However, with Sneasel having Icicle Ice Shard, it's going to be doing a whole bunch. But we have Regenerator as well. So all in all, just a really offensive kind of moveset. I really would have liked to have put U-Turn on this thing just to be able to switch things out and stuff. But I feel like this set just works a lot better. I really like having Heat Wave. And Flynium Z Hurricane just hurts so many different things. The only things that really handle it are going to be the Regirock and I think maybe like a defensive Mawile set if he wants to be that guy, but I don't think he will be. But yeah, it's super powerful. And then last but not least, you can't forget Armstrong, our Mega Swampert. Very fun set this week. I'm bringing a substitute Power Up Punch set. We can substitute on so many different things here, you guys. We can substitute on the Quillfish. We can substitute on the Regirock. We can substitute potentially even on the Gligar if we want to, if we think it's coming in. Or even trick a Latios swap in if he thinks I'm going for Earthquake. But substitute Power Up Punch. Yeah, substitute Power Up Punch, Ice Punch, Earthquake. I don't need Waterfall this week, honestly. Just because after a +1 or even getting to +2, if I can't get to +2, that would be godsend. But even at +1, I can two-shot pretty much everything on his team. So if I'm able to wear things down, get Rain up, get a substitute off, Mega Swampert is putting in the hurt. And yeah, Jolly, max attack, max speed. The reason I wanted to run an Adamant set that sped-crept something, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Mawile. However, after looking at things, I believe a Choice Scarf or even a Dragon Dance Latios speed ties with the Jolly max speed Mega Swampert. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's why I left it as a very standard set with Mega Swampert being Jolly. Yeah, that makes sense, right? I'm double checking my math. Yeah, I think that's the exact reason why I decided to do that, was because it does speed tie with a Dragon Dance or a Choice Scarf Latios. So sacrificing the power just to guarantee the speed, it's okay in my book. But yeah, I'm really liking this team. Very powerful. Hopefully we can pull around the victory after our loss last week. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. The video should be coming up tomorrow against Crimson, so definitely be looking forward to that. But I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Thumbbrother 2, and I will see you in the next one.